a lot of times, like, people will say, oh, you need to stick with this one thing. You find it and you stick with it and you just keep going down the same path. But if you're like me, I have to be really into something to want to stick with it. So I've tried so many different things, specifically like in entrepreneurship. I've tried so many different things, and I've had to find what makes sense to me. And like, what makes sense to me is something that I enjoy doing, is something that energizes me. That's how I discovered, okay, is this something that I want to do long term? Because once I'm done interacting with whatever the situation is, or once I reach a goal or a target, or I perform the service, or I send in my KP, like, all those things, like, meet the KPIs, meet the goal, like, how do I feel afterwards? And if afterwards I feel invigorated and rejuvenated and energized, then I know, okay, I got to stick with this because this is a good thing for me. If afterwards, if I feel tired, if I feel drained, if I feel like, okay, I don't want to do this thing anymore, or if I don't feel or if I feel relieved, right? If I feel relieved, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God that thing is over, because I couldn't. If I feel like that, then that means that it's time for me to separate and move on to something else. So I've tried so many different things, even like when it comes to jobs. Like, I just think it's important to also be in your right space, because when you are, then, and you're in the right niche or the right market, the right industry for how you best operate and what feeds your soul and gives you energy, then suddenly you start to like realize how you can evolve that thing and make it even better next time. And I always ask, like, I ask my students in my classes, like, okay, what's one thing you enjoyed? And then what's one way class could be even better next time? So then the students and children, they give me like ideas to improve. So I improve it for them in the next round. So what I'm saying is, like, as you grow into whatever it is your soul calls you to do, you will get better and better and better each time, over and over and over again. Because at the end of the day, like, it's not about the quantity of how much you can get out. It's about the quality and how the customer experience is and how your experience is. And like I said, you'll evolve to the point where you're like, before, when you first started, you had the same exact tools around you. You had the same everything. And now suddenly you're seeing an opportunity where there wasn't one before, because you're seeing it before you can experiencing it. You are calling it unto you, whatever, what they be saying, like, you have to see it into existence. So once you start to get really into your passion and into your goals and into whatever it is long enough, you'll start to see, oh, wait a minute, I can do this now. Wait a minute, what if I did that? But that's because the seed has time to plant. But with that being said, you have to also give yourself space and opportunity to recognize, which seed do I actually want to plant here? What am I trying to grow? What am I trying to do? Like, not what is society telling me to do, not what did this TikTok or this YouTube or whoever, even my own stuff. It's not what I heard from someone else. It's like, okay, and because sometimes it is like confirmation, but like confirmation is different from like you just going with what someone else said. So like, if you were like me, you're like, okay, I gotta figure something out, because I gotta make something shake. I gotta make something move and shake. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But like, if you have to do that, then you do have to like monitor, okay, like, am I really trying to plant this right now? Or do I really want this? Or am I trying to plant this thing instead? Like, am I really trying to like do this, or am I trying to do this instead? And it's not like, it's going to break you to do that. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's going to make a difference though. And I always say like, cause sometimes people be trying to like get me to do like additional things, like, oh, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? And like, sometimes I do it, but I always measure it against my own self, because you have to think like, who are you listening to? What are they doing? And do you want that? Do you want that particular thing of what they're doing? And then I listen to audiobooks, I read, I try to meditate, I've tried to work out more, because I be teaching like Zumba too. So I teach it, so I force myself, so I have to work out. If you're like teaching classes on fitness, you feel me? You can't be, you just have to operate a certain way. But all that to say, like, it took me going in circles and circles and circles over and over and over again till I found what worked, and now that I'm in it, it's like, okay, how can I improve this? And then you just improve on what it is. But like, people will try to, and have always like told me, you got to just stick to this one thing. Okay, whatever. But if it's not the one thing that I want, I'm not gonna stick with it. I believe like in quick firing, slow hiring. That's what I believe in. I'm slow, but not slow. Like, I go all in on an idea, but I'm slow to fully like just say, okay, this is like, I might say this is what I'm doing, but I'm slow to actually stick and say, okay, no, this is exactly what it is. But as soon as I feel like, this isn't working, something's off, I'm out immediately. And then I'll take a minute to reassess and see whatever. But that's just how I've always been. But I feel the same way when it comes to what you want to do, like whatever your business is, because like any business can be successful. You know, success is something you attract by the person you become. And you become a successful person by becoming someone who's a successful person. You know what I'm saying? And you become disciplined, you become aware, you become self-reflective, you become an energy reader of yourself and of others, and you discover, okay, if this isn't working out, I'm out. Period. And there's only so many red flags you can ignore before you end up in a cesspool, in a cesspit of toxicness and nonsense that you can't get out of. So once you have a way out, take it. And then, you know, find something, like if it's going to be something that you have to wake up and do every single day, and it's something that likely will have to be in addition to what your day job is, or in addition to, make sure that it's something that when you do it, it feels good. The pieces all just line up. Things just work out in the right way. Everything just flows. When you're in the flow state, that's when when you know you're in the right place. And sometimes, like, I be thinking maybe what I'm doing wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, because it wasn't the thing that I was supposed to be doing. But the thing that you're supposed to be doing, once you start to notice, like, I would even say like instant success when it's the thing you're supposed to be doing. You don't have to wait years and years and years. You just come up with a proper strategy of how to tackle it. You implement that strategy and you're good. And you just remember that in nature, each plant fruits in its own time. Bamboo fruits significantly faster than apples. You plant an apple tree, you're gonna be waiting for years, but you plant an apple tree, once you start eating, you're gonna be eating. You plant a bamboo tree, okay, you're gonna be eating instantly, but you might not get as much as an apple tree, because apple trees take longer to fruit. So maybe you plant bamboo here, you plant apple there, you plant some potatoes, you might want to get some chickens, whatever, but you know that each of those things has a life cycle span. So the instant success looks different from a seed turning into a sprout. The instant success looks different from a seed starting to root than when the plant is fruiting. So instant success might be posting your class, just trying it out, and suddenly people apply and take the class, and you're like, what the, wait a minute, and then you teach the class, and then you're like, oh, I feel so amazing after I did this. I feel so amazing. I want to feel this more often. And then from there, you get another idea, and you're like, oh, I can make this even better by doing this thing that was right in front of me the whole time. And then it just starts to expand. But you just remember that when you're in the sprouting state, your instant successes, your successes are going to be those of a sprouting fruit and not those of a full-grown tree. And you keep going, and eventually you will have what you want. You just stay consistent on doing the thing you want. If you like apples, don't plant a bamboo tree. Or plant a bamboo tree and know you're going to have to wait for your apples. All right? Or bamboo shroot. I don't know what it is. But you got the message. All right. Let me know what you thought if you got this far. Because if you did, you're a star. All right? And let me know how this video could be even better next time. Okay? And let me know your favorite part. All right.